this exercise 6 of time speed distance. Question 4. Two trains started simultaneously at 9 am from A and B towards B and A. Both of them take 12 hours to reach their respective destinations. The first train met with an accident and travelled at half its speed thereafter. And the two trains met at 4 pm. Find the time when the accident occurred. So let's draw a schematic diagram to understand the question. Stations A and B. Trains from A and B going towards the opposite direction. Both of them take 12 hours to reach their destination, which means their speeds are similar. Both of them start at 9 am. Since both of them take 12 hours to reach their respective destinations and the distance for both of them is the same, so we can say the speeds are the same. So speed of train A starting from A is equal to speed of train starting from B, and I am assuming it to be 2 kilometers per hour. Okay. Or in other words, I have assumed the distance to be 12 hours into 2, 24 kilometers. So if the distance is equal to 24 kilometers and the speeds of the trains are 2 kilometers per hour and 2 kilometers per hour. Then the question says the accident occurred somewhere and the trains met at 4 pm. We need to find out when did the accident occur. Okay. Let me assume the accident occurred T hours after start. Okay. T hours after start. Now since the speeds of the train are 2 kilometers, when the accident occurred, the first train has covered a distance of 2t and the second train has also covered a distance of 2t. So what is the distance to be covered between the two trains? Out of the total distance of 24 kilometers, 2t and 2t or total of 4t has been covered by the two trains together. So the distance left or the gap between the two trains now, this distance is nothing but 24 minus 40. Okay. So the distance to be covered is 24 minus 40, and this distance will be covered at the speed of not 2 plus 2 but 2 plus 1, because after accident, if the accident occurred at this place, after this the speed of the first train will become 1 kilometer per hour rather than remaining at 2 kilometers per hour, because as per the question it travels at half the speed after the accident. So when will the two trains meet now? The two trains will meet 24 minus 4t upon 2 plus 1, 3. So many hours after the accident. But the accident occurred t hours after start. So I can say t hours plus this should be equal to 7. What is 7? The train started at 9 am and they met at 4 pm. So the total time taken for them to meet is 7 hours. Okay, so we can say t hours after start, the trains had an accident. So initially t hours had elapsed, and after the accident they will take so many more hours to meet 24 minus 40 upon 3. So this should be equal to 7. Now you can solve this equation. So this tells us that 3t plus 24 minus 4t should be equal to 7 into 3, 21. The 3 in the denominator will obviously go on the other side. So we get 24 minus t is equal to 21. Or this tells us that t is equal to 3. Or t is equal to 3 hours. So the accident occurred 3 hours after start. Accident occurred 3 hours after start, but the start was at 9 am. So the accident occurred at 12 noon. Correct answer is choice D. Okay. In this question also, if you had looked at the choice, you could have straight away eliminated choice A, because my accident cannot occur. If no accident occurs, the trains would have met at 3 pm. So 3:15 cannot be the answer. You could have also then checked the choices. Okay. If you want to check the choices, let us see how to do that. And let me just erase the written work on the slide to create some space. Yeah, you could have checked the choices. Let's look at this. I've just put the relevant data on the slide. As I said, since the speeds of the two trains are the same, because they're taking the same amount of time, so no accident would have meant if they're starting at 9 am and it takes 12 hours to reach the destination for both of them, they would have met after 6 hours after 9 am, which is 3 pm. So my answer has to be less than 3 pm. The accident has to definitely occur before 3 pm. So choice A is incorrect. Now between 9:30, 11, 12 and 12:30, check any of the two choices which is in the middle, which means either 11 or 12. Okay. Let's check 11. 11 means the accident occurs 2 hours after the start. That means t is equal to 2. If t is equal to 2, this distance at the time of accident, the first train has covered a distance of 2t, second train has also covered a distance of 2t. So 24. So the distance covered is 4. Before the accident, the distance covered by both the trains is 4 plus 4, 8. So 24 minus 8, 16 kilometers is the gap between the two trains. If the gap between the two trains is 16 kilometers and the speeds are 2 plus 1, 3, so the time taken will be 16 by 3, which is equal to 5 hours and 20 minutes. 5 hours 20 minutes after the accident. The accident occurred as per this at 11 am. So as per this, it would mean they would meet at 11 plus 5, 16, 4 hours and 20 minutes. That means my answer cannot be 11. Actually, now it also means my answer should be more than 11. The accident should occur after 11 am, because if it has occurred at 11 am, it is meeting at 4:20. Had the accident occurred at 9:30, less than earlier than 11, then the meeting would be delayed further, because after the accident the speed reduces. So choice C would be incorrect. Now again, between D and E, check any one of them. I'll check D because it is a integer and I have an integer value of t. So if the accident occurs at 12 noon, that means the time taken is 3. That means the distance covered by both the trains individually before the accident is 6 plus 6, 12. 12 kilometers gone, and out of the remaining 24 kilometers, 12 kilometers have to be covered. So 12 to be covered at the speed of 2 plus 1, 3, which is 4. So 12, if the accident occurs at 12 noon, then they will take 4 hours more to reach, to meet, and hence they will meet at 4 pm, which is what the question says. So the correct answer has to be choice D. You can take a choice whichever method you are more comfortable with. For this question, I don't think choices are the best option. I just gave the method so that you can understand how to use the choices.